Ohio native species profile: the flathead catfish, also known as the shovelhead, mud cat, or scientifically as Pylodictis olivaris, is a benthic or bottom-dwelling species of catfish. One of the three larger species found in the Midwest United States and native to the Mississippi drainage area. Specifically in Ohio, this means it is native to the Ohio River and all of its major tributaries. This fish's lower jaw is almost always longer than its upper jaw, with its eyes oriented looking up. This would indicate it is a predator feeding mostly on fish suspended above it. The idea these fish dwell on the bottom of lakes and rivers is further supported by its brown riverbed-like color and hydrodynamic shape. Like most catfish, its body is covered in thousands of taste buds and chemoreceptors, with more concentrated on the barbels around the fish's mouth. These barbels serve as more than just the purpose of scent or smell. They also act like feelers, the fish equivalent of hands and fingers to experience touch in its dark environment. Historically, in pre-1900s, these fish were recorded living as far up the Ohio River as western Pennsylvania. Populations exist in the Muskingum River, Scioto River, Sims Creek, Raccoon Creek, Shade Creek, Hocking River, the Great Miami, and Little Miami River, and even some of the listed rivers' major tributaries. Some rivers are thought to have smaller sustained population than others based on the stream gradient and existence of different pollutants. The Great Miami River's population is believed to have suffered previously from inorganic pollution, and prior to 1950 the Scioto River was noted for its excellent number of flathead that would later decline drastically due to siltation from poor agricultural practice and inorganic pollutants thought to have originated from paper mills. Thankfully, Scioto has since recovered and even became one of the cleanest large rivers in the state. Fish survived in the Ohio River, and small pockets persisted within Scioto where the river was less impacted by silt and where hard structures such as wood, rock piles, and even bedrock remained exposed. These remaining fish would spread back throughout the system post-1980s. Thanks to the enforcement of the Clean Water Act and a community effort, the fish have become much more common in the Scioto River with the reduction of silt. This is one example of how legislation, when properly enforced, can actually help fish communities. The Lake Erie watershed also has flathead. The largest population of these fish based on density per river mile is the Maumee River, an area they were not recorded before the 1900s. It is widely accepted that these fish were introduced either by fishermen or a hatchery that overflowed into the river during a high water event. No hatcheries for flathead or farms that raise them currently exist in the United States, and any current stocking is purely incidental when stocking other fish. In the late 1800s, flathead were reported and recorded in the Huron River. It is unknown if this is a relic population or if these were fish moved by fishermen or fish that may have swam up a canal system from the Ohio River to Lake Erie. A statewide electrofishing survey conducted by the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency, dubbed the Large River Survey, revealed flathead have since spread across Lake Erie into the Sandusky River. Surveys and fishing on the Canadian side of Lake Erie show populations are even being found in Canada as of 2023. When targeting flathead, it is recommended to fish at night using live bait on a circle hook on the bottom or suspended a few feet above the river or lake bed. I recommend using bait palm-sized or larger. It is also advised to fish within 100 yards of a holding structure, especially in flowing water. Due to the habit flathead have of sitting on log piles and rock piles during the daytime, a long, heavy monofilament leader is also wise. Fish become most active immediately prior to spawn and will move to shallow water. Post-spawn, due to temperature and dissolved oxygen levels, flathead will usually stay in shallow water until the fall. This rule mostly applies to reservoirs where the water is not moving and most aeration that occurs on the surface remains in the first few feet of water. Mid to late summer, it is recommended to fish less than 12 feet of water as a rule in reservoirs when it has not rained or been very windy. Both wind and rain events can cause the water to turn depending on how extreme they are. In rivers, the dissolved oxygen tends to be spread throughout the water column due to flow conditions, making deep water more viable. However, post-spawn, it is still recommended to fish shallower than 20 feet even if it is possible to catch fish much deeper. Good luck in tight lines.